the class, the first thing you need to do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You need to go to the website. You need to log in. Okay. Then you need to select math as your subject. You're having a maths class and your grade level is grade 7. Okay. The topic for today is geometric measurements. Okay. And the chapter number is, let me give you the chapter number. 1 minute, please. The chapter number is 22. Chapter number is 22. And the lesson number for today is lesson number 11. The name of the lesson is quarter circles. We would be studying about quarter circles and we would be calculating area. We will look at the perimeter and we'll try to find the radius. Okay. So today we are studying about quarter circles. That is basically geometric measurements. And we calculate the area, perimeter, and the radius. For those who just joined, welcome to the class. Let's see, that is 22 and 11. Okay. So let's see what is a quarter circle. First thing first, we know that this is a complete circle, right? And the distance from the center to the circumference is always known as, this is known as a radius, right? And a circle is always made up of how many degrees? 360 degrees. This is a circle. So now we see what can we do with the circle? What kind of a circles can be there? So now let's make another circle and let's see what can happen to the circle. 1 minute, please. If we have a circle and we break the circle into a half, this kind of a circle is known as, we draw a line from this end to the other end, and this kind of a circle is known as a half circle, which is basically known as a semicircle. Okay, that means these two lengths over here are given as the radius, agreed, and the total length, this total length would be the diameter, because diameter is twice of the radius, agreed. But the topic for today is quarter circles, right? And a semicircle is always made up of 180 degrees, because a circle is 360 degrees. Therefore, a semi would mean, a semi is half of the circle. That is, hi Prem, hi Nate. We are looking at quarter circles today. So we saw the circle is 360. A semicircle would be 180. And let's look at a quarter circle. How can we get a quarter circle? A circle can be broken down into 4 segments. Let's try to break it down into 4 segments. Let's say if this is from the center, we break down the circle into 4 segments, right? Each segment is a quarter. So we have 4 quarters in a circle, right? So let's look at the angle. We know this was the radius. We know this is the radius, and a radius, right? So when we are looking at a quarter circle, that means there are 4 quarters over here. I'll just label 4 quarters, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That therefore each quarter would be made up of a right angle, that is 90 degrees. Each quarter is always made up of 90 degrees. And we can say there's a quarter circle. That's the shaded part, right? A quarter circle is also known as a quadrant. Okay, quadrant refers to a quarter. So whenever we hear the word quadrant or a quarter, that would mean we are talking about 1/4 of any given circle or 1/4 of any given shape. Okay, there are 4 quarters over here. I'll write down 1 quarter, 3 quarters, and the 4th quarter. Okay, so let's look at finding the area, perimeter, and the radius. Okay, let's look at the formula for the area of the circle. So the area of the circle was pi r square, but the area for the semicircle would be half. Since it's a half of this word has a semi, this becomes half pi r square. What about the quarter? Since quarter is 1/4, we will say area is equals to 1/4 pi r squared. Okay, finding the perimeter of a circle. Okay, so if we need to find the perimeter of a circle, we can say the perimeter would always be equals to circumference. Okay, and we can say the perimeter equals to circumference, and that is perimeter is equal of a circle is 2 pi r. Okay, do we agree? Okay, thank you. Perimeter of a semicircle is, how many sides do we have? We have one outer, right? The outer ring, that is half into the circumference plus the diameter. So 2 and 2 can be cancelled, which means the perimeter of a semicircle comes out to be pi r plus diameter, and this diameter can also be replaced by, since we know diameter is twice of radius, we can replace it by twice of radius as well. Okay, but in case of a quarter circle, right, I'll draw the circle again, a quarter circles, then we'll see what are the possibilities. Okay, let's remove part of it. Let's try to make this a quarter. Okay, we remove the half and we remove the half. Okay, we say we want to create a quarter circle. We extend this line and we extend this line. Okay, so this was a quarter circle that was at right angles. Right angle is always 90. This is the radius, this is the radius, but this part is, the outer curve is known as arc length. The arc length, the part of the outer ring of the circle, is also known as arc length, and the arc length in this case is 1/4 of the circumference, right? So if I say AB, so the length of AB should be equals to 1/4 of the circumference. That means the length of AB should come out to be 1/4 into 2 pi r, which can be simplified to pi r upon 2. So once we need to find the perimeter, how many sides are there? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Prem? Prem, can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me now? Okay, let's continue. That means the perimeter in this case would be equals to, there are 2 lengths of radius plus the length of AB. Okay, so we can say perimeter is equals to 2 of radius plus the length of AB, and the length of AB was pi r upon 2. So what we did over here is we try to break down the shape and see what are the different possibilities over here. Okay, we just wanted to see what are the different possibilities, how we can find the area and the perimeter. Okay, do we agree on this? Prem, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can I have a response? Okay, I'll just recheck it. Okay. It is working at my end. It's not muted. So let's try some questions. Okay. Sorry, 1 minute, please. Let me just copy this question. The radius of a quarter circle is this, and use the perimeter. Okay. Moving ahead with the first question. The first question we have is this. And the first question says, use pi to be, use the value of pi to be 3.14. Okay. And what is the perimeter of the circle? Okay. Let's resize this so that it's more readable to us. Question number 1 says, yes, I am here. Why can you not hear me? Hello, Prem. Hello. 1 minute again. Hello, Prem, can you hear me? It shows at my end that it's the audio is there. At my end, it's showing that my audio is working perfectly fine. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you just respond to that? Hello, Prem. Oh, that's good. So apologies for that, maybe some network issue. Okay. So what we are looking today at is we are looking at the quarter circle, right? So we can always draw a quarter circle. We see it's better to always draw a diagram and label it, because once we have the diagram with us now, we can do a lot of things, right? We can do the labeling, we can see what are the requirements. Okay, so what we do is we try to draw this quarter circle first. I'll just remove this because I cannot draw a quarter. I have to make the, okay, if I say in a quarter of a circle, these two sides are always the radius, right? So can we say this length was radius and this length was radius? Agreed? And the curve part is the part of the circumference, right? The question says that the radius of a quarter circle is 5 kilometers. If the radius is 5 kilometers, we need to find the quarter circle's perimeter. So how many sides are there basically? AB is the first side and C. They are total 3 sides. So in order to find the perimeter, what we do is we add AB plus BC plus AC. We know that BC and AC are the radius, right? How about AB? the AB was basically 1/4 of the outer ring. That is the total circumference, right? So that was 1/4 of 2 pi r plus the radius plus the radius. So can we say, cancel this out? Can we say perimeter is pi r upon 2 plus 2r. So once we substitute the values into the formula, pi can be taken as 3.14 multiplied by the radius, that is 5 upon 2 plus 2 times 5. So let's use a calculator over here. 3.14 times 5 divided by 2, that is 7.85 plus 10. This comes out to be 7.85 plus 10, and the total perimeter comes out to be 17.85 kilometers. So basically what we are trying to find is, we are trying to find this length that was already given as 5. We were trying to find this length given as 5, and this part was 1/4 of circumference. Circumference is the outer ring, right? So the perimeter, the total perimeter comes out to be 17.85. Okay, that means in order to move around this shape, we would need to travel 17.85 kilometers. Do we agree on this? Right? Okay, the next question we have is, in the next question, what they are saying is the radius of a quarter circle is given. We again need to find the perimeter. Okay, let's pick up question number 2. We would rather use this. We will try to use this formula for the perimeter. Okay, we will simplify our life. We will not do simplification every single time. For question number 2, what they're asking us is the radius of a quarter circle is given to us using the value of pi to be 3.14. What is the perimeter of the quarter circle, right? So let's try to find this. Okay, in question number 2, best is to draw a quarter circle first, do the labelings. If we draw a quarter circle, we can remove the additional part from the circle, 3/4 from the circle. We are left with 1/4. We can say this is the radius and this is the radius, right? So we have radius, radius, and the part of the circumference. In order to find the perimeter, we add all the sides together. That means there were 2 radius plus the part of the circumference. That is, this is 1/4 of circumference, right? Which we already simplified over here. That perimeter is pi r upon 2. So if the radius of the circle is 1 mile, so can we substitute? Can we say perimeter is twice, radius was 1 mile plus this is pi multiplied by 1 upon 2. We replace the value of r by the value given in the question. That is 1 upon, this is 1 upon 1. So finally we can say perimeter comes out to be 2 plus pi over 2, and we know that for the value of pi we use 3.14. If we substitute pi to be 3.14, we can find the final answer. Yeah, most probably. Just a minute, please. I'll also do it along with you. 2 plus 3.14 divided by 2. Okay. So 3.14 divided by 2 comes out to be 1.57 plus 2. That comes out to be 3.57 miles. See, the outer part, this circumference, this part over here, this is basically 1/4, right? That is basically frame that, I'll explain it again, okay? How am I finding the curve part, okay? So in a circle, if I have a curve part, right? And we have a circumference, right? And we have this radius, right? So basically in this shape, there are three parts, A, B, and C. We know that this is the radius, that is already given. We know this is the radius, that is already given. But this curve part of the question, we need to find out, right? It's okay. Let me explain again. For the other students, it will also help, right? Thank you, Prem. For this part, this is basically a quarter of circumference, right? And we know that the formula for the circumference or the perimeter of a total circle was 2 pi r. But if we say quarter, right? That means we multiply it by 1 upon 4. That means 2 pi r divided by 4 means we can cancel out the 2 and 4. And what are we left with? Pi r upon 2. That therefore this length would be equals to pi r upon 2. Okay. So what we are doing over here in the formula is, sorry, what we are doing here is we add the two radius plus the part of the circumference. That is the, okay. So that means the formula for the perimeter is 2r plus pi r upon 2. Why are we writing 2r? Because there are two values of radius. Okay. Can we move to the next? Okay, let's look at the next question. Okay, they've drawn the diagram for us. They've made our life easier. Okay. And what they are saying is, okay, for question number 3, this is the given information and the perimeter is given. Okay, just a minute, please. Pi is given. We don't need perimeter, it's already given to us. We bring down the shape. Okay, I'm just realigning it. Okay, the question number 3 says the perimeter of a quarter circle. In question number 3, the perimeter is given to us. Okay, the perimeter is already given to us. We need to find the radius. They can ask us to find the radius or the diameter, right? In this question, they're asking us to find the radius. The perimeter means this length is the radius, this length is the radius. And what about this? The part of the circumference? We know this equals to pi r upon 2, right? So can we apply the formula of the perimeter? Apologies, I need to mute for a few seconds because I have a sore throat. Okay, so can we say the perimeter would always be equal to pi r upon 2, the outer part of the circumference, plus twice the radius. But in this question, they have given us the perimeter. So can the perimeter be replaced by 10.71? Right? But before doing that, what we need to do is we need to simplify on the other side. This is 2r upon 1. Can we find the least common multiple? Comes out to be 2. That means 2 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1. That is pi r multiplied by 1. We are trying to make it as a single fraction. This is multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. So can we say 2r multiplied by 2? Why do we need to simplify this? Is because there are two variables with the perimeter, with the radius, right? So can we say perimeter is equals to pi r
plus 4r divided by 2. Can we cross multiply this value of 2 to the other side? So can we say 2 perimeter would be equals to pi r plus 4r.
We are just trying to simplify the question, right? We are just trying to simplify the formula because we need to find the radius. And we could see that the radius was at two different positions. So we need to make it common first. Can we take a common on the right side? Can we find radius as common? If we take radius as common, we are left with pi plus 4. And since pi plus 4 is multiplying on the right side, when it goes to the left side, it will divide. So can we say 2 perimeter is divided by pi plus 4? So whenever perimeter is given to us and we need to find the radius, we can directly use this formula, right? Because we don't have to do the simplification every single time. Okay. So in order, if we use this formula that radius is equals to 2 twice of perimeter divided by pi plus 4, that means this is only applicable to which formula? For a quarter circles, right? Perimeter given was 10.71 is divided by pi. The value of pi is 3.14 plus 4. While simplifying, 10.71 multiplied by 2 is 21.42 divided by 7.14. So when we divide 21.42 divided by 7.14, the radius comes out to be 3 and the unit we have to use is miles. Okay, do we agree on this? See, could we not directly apply the value of perimeter and find? Because we can see the radius in the formula is at two different places, right? Because the original formula was perimeter is pi r upon 2 plus 2r. So there are two values of r. So we need to simplify the question first, then we need to substitute, okay? So we will keep this like the formula for the radius in our mind so that next time if we have a question, we would not need to find, okay? We would directly apply this formula for the quarter, okay? So let's look at question number 4. Let's look at more examples. Okay. The perimeter is given. Let's do it different. Okay. I will do this question such that, okay. Very similar question to the question number 4. Okay. So the question says in question number 4, the perimeter of a quarter circle, right? A quadrant is given. What is the radius of the quarter circle, right? This was our question number 4. So we know that the formula for the perimeter was 2 lengths of radius plus pi r divided by 2. Agreed? And when we what do we need to find over here? We need to find the radius. Since radius is at two different positions, we do not need to find, okay? We do not need to find the perimeter. We need to find the radius, and there is a repetition of radius, right? And in the previous question, what we did was we simplified the formula. What we said was radius would be equal to twice of perimeter divided by pi plus 4. Agreed? Do we remember how we did this? Right? In the previous example, we did this. So if we can remember these two formulas, we can simply substitute the values and find whatever our requirement is. Hi, Michael. What we are trying to find is, we are trying to find the radius of a quarter circle, right?
In the previous example, I simplified the first equation to find the value of radius. Now, if we have the formula for the radius, what is the perimeter given to us? The given perimeter is 7.14. So can we say radius is twice of the perimeter, 7.14, which is to be divided by pi. The value of pi is 3.14. 3.14 plus 4. So can we say 2 multiplied by 7.14 comes out to be 14.28 divided by 7.14. So finally we can say the radius comes out to be 2, and the unit we have to use the same, that is 2 kilometers.
Okay, do we agree on this? Great. Any questions regarding this? If there is a question, please do ask. Okay, the next question we have is, they have given us the radius. They want us to find the perimeter. Okay, let's copy the question and let's see what we can do in question number 5.
Okay. The question number 5 says the radius of a quarter circle is 2 inches. The radius is given to us. That means this length is the radius and this length is the radius. Okay. The value of pi is given. What do we need to find? We need to find the quarter circle's perimeter.
And we know the formula for the perimeter. What is the formula for the perimeter of a quarter circle?
We will be saying that perimeter is, there are total 3 sides, right? There are 2 radius plus this part of the circumference, that was pi r upon 2. 1/4 of the circumference, right? This is pi r upon 2. So if we need to find the perimeter, we let it be as the variable. We substitute the radius. The radius was given as 2, right? Plus the value of pi. The value of pi is 3.14 multiplied by the radius, that is again 2. Right? We can cancel 2 is divided by 2, right? So we can simply write perimeter is equal 2 multiplied by 2 is 4 plus 3.14, right? And the perimeter comes out to be 7.14, and this is in inches, right? The unit. So the perimeter is
7.14 inches. Okay, agreed.
Any questions?
Thank you. Let's move on to the next question. The next question says, okay, and in the next one we are given the perimeter and we need to find the radius, right?
So we need to remember the other formula, okay? So can we say that, I'll just copy paste it. What do we need to use? I'll just give you the formula once it's, sorry. Okay, this was given to us. And what is the quarter circle's radius, right? This is our question number 6. The perimeter is given to us. And what do we need to find? We need to find the radius. So we had 2 formulas over here, right? Either we can use the perimeter or we can use the radius. Agreed? These were the 2 given formulas we had. What do we need to find? We need to find the radius. So if we need to find the radius, we use the formula for the radius because it is already simplified. So can we say radius is twice of the perimeter? And the perimeter was given as 10.71 divided by the value of pi is 3.14 plus 4.
Okay,
Okay, this doesn't look like a plus. Let's write it clearly. Okay, so can we say the radius is 10.71 multiplied by 2 would give the answer to be 21.42 divided by 7.14. So 21.42 divided by 7.14, and the radius comes out to be 3. We are using millimeters over here, right? The given unit is millimeters. So we write millimeters, and that is our answer. Okay. Depending on the question, whatever our requirement is, if we need to find the perimeter, then we simply use the formula for the perimeter. If we need to find the radius, then what we need to do is we need to simplify the formula, then find the formula for the radius, or directly apply this. But this is only applicable in case of a quarter circle, right? This is for the quarter circle. We cannot do it to a semicircle. We cannot do it to a complete circle. Okay. Let's try a few questions. Let's see. Let's try a few questions from the test. Okay. And let's see what our answers can be. So I'll begin with the first question from the test. Okay, let me give the heading for the test so that we know we are doing the test. Let's do it together. Most probably you'll have the same question. When you click on the test, you'll have the same question on your screen. Okay, I'll just copy the question, and it seems easy. I would want you people to help me out with this. Please help me out. Okay, this is given to us. I'll just rearrange this. Okay, these are the two answers given to us, and what they are asking us is the radius of a quarter circle is 5 kilometers, right? The question number 1. The radius of a quarter circle is 5 kilometers. What is a quarter circle's perimeter? Is it option A or option B? A few minutes to know, pray. We cannot end now. Let's complete this. I understand it is very easy, but we have to complete the lesson, right? Thank you so much for your patience, but let's complete this. Let's do a question or two from the test. The radius of a circle, radius of a quarter circle is 5 kilometers, right? Can I have the answer, Prem? Option A or option B? Prem, what is the answer? If it's saying the radius is given to us, can I have the answer? Thank you. We know that perimeter is twice of radius plus the part of the circumference, right? So we can say perimeter is, right, 3.14 into 5 divided by 2, that is 7.85, and this was 10. So we can see that it comes out to be, yes, thank you, and this is in kilometers. So which option should be correct? Option A should be the correct answer, right? Okay, let's look at another question in which, let's see what happens. For question number 2, the question number 1 was 17.85. Let's look at the second question and the options that are given to us. In the second question, they are saying the perimeter is given to us. Okay, in question number 2, they're saying the perimeter is given to us. These are the two given options. I'll just simply realign this. Okay. Okay. They're saying the perimeter is given to us, and we need to find, perimeter is given, we need to find the radius of the circle. What can be the, so what can be the answer? What is the radius? Option A or option B? We know that whenever we need to find the radius, we can use this formula. These are the two given formulas, right? Simplified formulas that we simplified, right? So we either of them depending on our requirement. So what do we need to find? We need to find the radius. So how can we find the rate? Can we substitute the values? Can I have the answer? Option A or option B? Michael, what is the possible answer? Yes, let's do it together. We can say the radius is twice of the perimeter, 17.85 inches divided by 3.14 plus 4, right? Or in the denominator, we can directly write 7.14, right? So 2 multiplied by 17.85 would come out to be 35.7, which is to be divided by 7.14. No, Michael, because the numerator is 30. Let's confirm. Please confirm your answer. See, radius is twice multiplied by the perimeter. The perimeter is 17.85. When 2 is multiplied by 17.85, it comes out to be 35.7. When 35.7 is divided by 7.14, I think you did a mistype, right? Please check again. Is it option 1 or option 2? Michael, can you confirm? Please redo. See, radius comes out to be 35.7. Yes. Thank you, Prem. Michael, I think you did a typing error, right? So this comes out to be 5, and this was inches, so we write 5 inches. Okay, and that is option number A. Okay, because 35.7 divided by 7.14 is always 5. One more question, okay? Let's do another question. That was 5 inches. Okay. Let's see if it's very easy or not. Perimeter and the radius. Okay, again very easy. For the next question, oh yes, no problem. No problem. Option 1 is the correct, right? That was a typing error. So let's look at another question. That's why I said maybe you did a typing error, right? Because I know that you know the answer. It could be a typing error. So let's say if this information is given, and what they're asking us is they are asking us to find the radius. If the perimeter is given and we need to find the radius, we know that the formula for the radius is twice of perimeter divided by pi plus 4, which can also be written as twice of perimeter divided by 7.14, right? Because we know the value of pi is 3.14. Rather than writing it again and again, we can directly write 3.14 as well. So option A or option B? When we substitute the values into the formula, can I write 2 times the perimeter divided by 7.14? And the perimeter given to us was 7.14, right? So when we have 7.14, we can simply cancel it out. Yes, thank you for the answer. It is 2 miles, right? Thank you. And just one more. Okay, let's do it very quickly. Same question, different values. Okay. Okay. The perimeter is given. Okay. They're saying what is the radius? For question number 4, this is given. And the question number 4, we know that we need to find the radius. So we can always use the formula twice of perimeter divided by 7.14. Option A or option B? The perimeter was given as 10.71. So 2 multiplied by 10.71 divided by 7.14. 10.71 multiplied by 2, that is 21.42.
Yes, thank you, Michael. This is
Divided by 7.14. That means it comes out to be 3, and that was millimeters. Option 1 is the correct answer, right?
thank you so much for being there for the class, and please do complete the remaining questions, okay? Very easy questions, just do the practice. We're done with 4 questions and 11 more are left. Complete the test, okay? And best of luck. I'll see you later. Have a nice day.